I have a more advanced technique to share for the Damaging Wasps trial challenge this week. This technique let me stack up 32,000 points as a solo raider. Normally my strategy guides are for everyday gamers, players who don't necessarily have as much time to play because of life, but still want to be able to level up. I try and create very simple and effective strategies that any gamer can use, but today's strategy is a bit more involved and takes a little bit more time in terms of setup, but any player can tailor it to fit within their personal timetable. This isn't a secret strategy. A lot of players have used it already. The goal here is to farm Snitch Scanners in high volume to set yourself up for a mega farm later on. The first step is farming Snitch Scanners, which can be done relatively easily on a night raid in Buried City. Position yourself on the eastern side of the map near the tunnel that leads out to the Broken Highway. Positioning yourself here will block the spawn that players can use later in the round, and is also a great place to position as snitches spawn in about 50% of the time on this side of the map. If you are looking directly east, or essentially directly at the tunnel, the snitches will spawn in on your right or left sides, usually alternating between the two. The other 50% of the time they will spawn on the far west side of the map, which is still useful to you, but requires you to take some long distance shots. One shot will get the snitch's attention, but you'll have to follow it up with another 1 to 2 shots to get it to actually aggro to you. If you do land one of those shots on the target, it will aggro as well after that. Try and wait patiently for the snitch to get in closer range to you so you have a higher chance of hitting all your shots, and then quickly eliminate it before it has time to call in its backup. Once eliminated, loot it for the snitch scanner and place that scanner into your safe pockets. Do this repeatedly until you're happy or the match ends. One snitch scanner will give you 2 wasps. One wasp elimination gives you 440 trials points during a night raid, electromagnetic storm, lush bloom, or more critically, the hidden bunker event. Gather as many snitch scanners as you want and then put them into your inventory. Stack up on ammo, healing, and explosives. I recommend bringing at least 1 light weapon, as the wasps will drop light ammo, so you can ensure you never run out of ammo, as I almost did using 1 heavy weapon and 1 medium weapon. You can also use a wolf pack or 2 if you want to expedite the process, but I personally save those for the bigger arcs, so I used an anvil and a venator. You want to select hidden bunker for this, as once the bunker is open, you'll have no one out randomly searching for anything in most cases. Definitely double check this though, as rats do be ratting sometimes. The reason hidden bunker is important is because a full match is actually 40 minutes instead of the normal 30 minutes, which gives you buffer room for getting through your scanners. Once you spawn in, find a good place to rat for a bit, as you want to wait until the satellites have been activated, at least on your side of the map. This will clear most raiders out of your area, letting you set up for your farm reasonably risk-free. Find a small area you can control, like the building I use here. Put up any barricades you need or defenses you want to feel safe, and then simply throw your snitch scanners and eliminate the wasps that follow. If you're using actual weapons, I found doing 2 snitch scanners at once to be a decent balance. 4 wasps is plenty. Plus, with them all trying to find an angle into the small building you set up in, they tend to run into each other, the walls, the ground, and deal some self-damage, making them easier to eliminate. Take necessary pauses between eliminations to listen for any raider sneaking up on you just to be safe. Outside of that, keep in mind that the more wasps you eliminate without looting, the more smoke you'll have obscuring your view of the next ones you have spawned in. This can become a nuisance at higher volumes of wasp bodies. Keep an eye on the time and the distance to your extraction. Once you've eliminated all the wasps, loot or simply search as many bodies as you can, and then haul it for the extraction. There can be a lot of XP to farm from these bodies, but keep in mind you can always farm more XP. But if you go down now by being a little greedy, looting every single wasp, and some rat raider happens to be lurking nearby, you will have lost all that time you put into farming the scanners. Make your way to the extraction, use the emote wheel in your own voice to disarm other raiders you may encounter on your way out. Eliminate any extraction guarding snitches and then get back to Speranza. Collect your loot if you haven't yet 3-starred it, and watch your position on the leaderboard soar depending on how many snitch scanners you farmed. I've heard a few reports of players having more than 100k in trials points on the leaderboard, and this is my guess as to how they do it. I suspect it's a 3-stack using this same method, but they're able to 3x the possible score as a result of all 3 of them farming scanners and then farming the wasps together. Just a guess though, I could be wrong. That's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thanks for watching.